I clicked it.
Okay.
We're live, Leah.
We're live now.
How are you? So, welcome everybody. Come on in, tag your friends. Um, we are here to speak with Leah Elliott for Channeling Soul Whispers, and these conversations have been amazing the last couple of weeks. There's been some really good information come through, really good questions answered for people. So, come on in, let us know that you're here. And here they come. Say hello and just let us know if you have any particular questions that you would like to ask. So, as we get started, hello, Samantha.
Hey,
Let,
Samantha.
let us know if you have a question. But as we warm up, Leah, I just wanted to ask you a little bit about a check in on what's happening around the globe right now. There's so much happening. So, is there any message that the invisible would like us to know?
Yes, the message is chill out. Like, you cannot control anything. The only thing that you can control is you're within. So, everything is happening for a reason. There is kind of this, and we know this, right? Everybody talks about this awakening of people. It's a rebirth um, of how we perceive life. It's a whole new rebirth of how our ideas and how we commune with each other, and our whole values are changing. And obviously the old value system that is very much all about me, and in numerology we can see that as well, because we went from the 1900s, which has that nine and the one in it, which is so we everybody born in the 1900s has kind of got this pull to be individual, to create something by ourselves. And we were very good at that in the last 1900s. And it was very important for our um, development of, look at the 1900s or the industrial, or even the whole last millennium. From 1000 to 2000, we had this whole revolution of not. We've obviously had the industrial revolution, but also the medicinal revolution, the revolution of how we, money and all of those things. So it was very important for us to go through and learn all of these things. Do you mind?
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I just wanted to, because we don't always see the names, I wanted to
Yes.
have this open and I
Awesome.
wasn't muted. So sorry.
That's
Yeah.
okay. So, and now in the 2000s, we are kind of now getting back to because we've got the two, and the two is all about communal living and being together and, creating things together. It's not just about what can I do for my survival, it's more what can we do together to create a better world. It's not just about survival, it's about thriving.
Yeah.
And that is what all of this awakening and all of this shaking is about. The old people, I mean, everybody's feeling this pull, but then some people don't even know that it's possible. They don't understand that it is possible. And I think that's where people like us, all of us that are in this group together, all of us, that we're all very like-minded people. We're all trying to create this world from within. And I have these conversations quite a lot with people where we ask, how can we get rid of the government, or how can we get rid of this? We cannot destroy things from the outside. It has to happen from the inside, just like with everything. We've got the micro and we've got the macro. So the macro, we can look at, the whole world as one, or a government system or anything, but the micro is us as people. What can we do from within? We can awaken to this rebirthing of our values and how we perceive and how we live purposefully in life. And then through that, we shine our light into this darkness that is within the macro, which will then kind of just break the whole system from the inside.
Influences it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And that,
Yep.
the foundation to this structure, is us. Yes, there is like those people at the top, but when everything is down here shaky and the people at the top, or systems or whatever you want to call it, these whoever's at the top, right? Whoever's calling all these shots, whoever's feeling safe and pulling all the strings at the top, they do not have control over people that feel like they are free, that feel like they have that they're limited and that they have the power. They thrive on people that don't know the answer, that always have to ask, what is the next step? What do you need to do? Tell me what I need to do. I don't feel safe. So it's so important that we build up that's the foundations within ourselves: safety, love, community. I think community in my lifetime for me is the biggest thing for safety. It's the community. It's and purpose, expressing who you are, feeling safe so that you can express. So everything is related together. And yes, this was a great question, Libby.
I love it. It's just it's so nice because it's always happening around us, and I guess we're kind of always asking these questions, but to actually sit down and articulate it and to hear, I don't know, it kind of just puts it all, the perspective into place, right? Yeah. So we do have a question from Samantha. If you are watching live, I know there's a few of you now, so please pop in any questions that you might have. If you would just like Leah to tune in and just share a message with you and whatever comes through, then we can do that as well. There is somebody where the names are coming up, so I've got it open and we'll get it all sorted. So Samantha, I felt so much shaking up. I feel like I'm being stretched, uncomfortable, yet I know it's unfolding for the greater good. How can I best ride the waves of this?
So Samantha, in the divine timing cycle that we're all in, right? We go from awareness, acceptance, and forgiveness, and then to action or self-responsibility, to acceleration, and then we end up in transformation. And all of these different stages of transformation are really important, and they all feel very different, and they have all got a very different purpose. So the frequency of each of those stages affects you very differently. And so you're saying you're feeling stretched, it's uncomfortable, it's unfolding for the greater good. So what I'm feeling at the moment is that you've been aware, you've seen what it is, you have forgiven, or you have accepted that it was like that in the past, and you have taken the self-responsibility. So you have decided to move forward. You might have taken some physical steps, or just some mental steps, emotional steps, and now you're kind of in that point of acceleration, waiting to transform completely. And I have got this quote from Cindy. Cindy was my brain game coach, and she's obviously now also a partner at Joy Kingsboroughs. And she always described as a pot of boiling water. So there is a pot. It is aware that it's a pot of water. It knows that it wants to boil. What does it need to do? It needs to take self-responsibility, turn on the heat or whatever. And then you're at the point where you are not boiling just yet. So you haven't transformed to boiling water or to vapor, but you are kind of at the edge of boiling. And that's where I think you're at this moment now. You're waiting for the next step, for the big revelation, for the transformation. And you're just feeling like, I have done all the steps, and I know that there's something more, but I'm not, it's still not bubbling completely. So you're kind of at that stage where you are, just waiting for the next step. But I also feel a little bit like when we are growing. So I think just before that step of transformation, but your body or your soul is also currently getting ready for that next stage. So you're kind of growing into this new person. And I know for me personally is when I go through a shift like that at the beginning, some days when you wake up, or some weeks or months where you wake up and you do your meditation every morning and you do this and you do that, and it's so easy, and you're like, this is so easy. And then other days you just can't get nothing done. And then when you get it, and you're like, why is this so hard? Last week I was able to do it and now I can't do it anymore. So it's just be gentle with you in this moment. You're kind of growing into that new person. So don't feel like you need to do all the things that you did last week or last month, because your body is just getting ready for the next step. And sometimes while we're getting ready, we just have to let go of some things to give the body space to grow. That's why we sleep at night, right? Because our body needs time to recoup and to get energy back so that it can, on the next day, be amazing again. So, and this is this time where you're in right now, the time where you are supposed to be just resting and taking some time and maybe journaling, meditating, so that you can then step in and be that new person. And then again, everything will be perfect and you'll be like, this is so easy, why was I so frustrated last week? And then you'll go through the next stage and then it'll come again. Just remember that it's all part of the process, and it's a beautiful process, and you are transforming, and you are walking forwards. And that's all that's important, because there's many people that get stuck in the awareness or in the self-responsibility stage where they see the problem and they just get frustrated because they don't know how to get out. So they're just frustrated, and it just gets harder and harder and harder. So for you to be at the point where you're almost there gives me goosebumps. So
yeah, so well said. And I think the main thing that I always like to share, when you're at this stage, it's so natural. The human side of us is searching for what's wrong. And I think if we can give ourselves the grace of realizing that this is all a part of the cycle, this is all a part of the evolution, then there is nothing wrong. And we can really, truly embrace that for what's next, treat it as the excitement of transformation. Something new is coming. I am truly evolving here. And if I can just lean in, if I can just tap into my wellness every single day, then there will be so much more harmony, right? So it's usually that sign of like you're heading towards transmutation is the discomfort. It's that boiling pot. So it's actually like all good signs, like you've done the work, the hard work is done. When we're searching for something that's wrong, we're trying to fix it, which means we're trying to control it, which means you can interrupt the transmutation cycle. So that's when old patterns keep playing out. So the more that we can just trust, be kind to yourself, tap into your own inner wellness and your wholeness and your connection with the divine, then you'll be amazing. And that's when things are really fast and the momentum just keeps going. So that's really beautiful. Great question.
Yes.
Great question. Totally human experiences, exactly.
And thanks for being here, Samantha.
Yeah, thank you. So I believe we have Rosalie. Is Rosalie still online, or Jody? Let us know if you would like a message. What about, is there anything else you would like to share for the collective?
Yes, I actually do. So awesome. As you all know, I work in a school, and I do support the staff here with the disability program. And I was looking at some of the numbers today, and there was a graphic about learning difficulties or disabilities in school, and the percentages of boys versus girls. And it seemed that the disabilities or the disadvantages, they're mostly around not fitting in with society or needing more support with learning, all of those things. And the boys were almost double as much as girls. So that raised the question in me, why? Right? And I know that obviously the main reasons of disability is, ADHD, and they're more mental, emotional ones than physical disabilities. So I always wonder whether these illnesses, when we label them, and there is actually a beautiful, well, it's not really beautiful, but there is some research was done where I'm not quite sure when it was done, but there was a class of children and they did an experiment there. So one half of the children, the teachers told them that they were gifted and they gave them extra support, and the other half of the children, they said, you're just normal, and they didn't give them extra support. And so for a whole year or maybe 2 years, these gifted children, they gave this extra support, and the children were actually really accelerating and the other children weren't really accelerating. At the end of the 2 years, they said this was all made up. This was not actually true. These children aren't gifted. These children aren't normal children. We don't know. We've never done a test with them. So what we tell our children or what we tell ourselves is the main thing. And that's why, when we look at these numbers of, ADHD, or, I just felt the reason why these children need additional support because they don't feel like they fit in with society. It's just like, why would you label that with a child? So I just wanted to say that I find it's really important that it's very important how we talk to ourselves and how we talk to others. And is really labeling necessary? Why can't we see a person as a whole? We have got some beautiful children here on the autism spectrum disorder, or also children with dyslexia. The children that are on the spectrum, they don't have a disability. They just see the world different to us. And the way that they solve problems is totally different. Same as the children that have got dyslexia. It's not like they're stupid and they can't read. They just read differently. They see the world differently. But they will be solving different problems to us, and they will be solving them differently as well. So I think labeling just sucks. And it's also when we get a diagnosis from a doctor, right? Is it a physical, you're ill, you've got this, you've got that. I know somebody in my family, a very close person, had ovary cancer, and she healed herself, so it is. And I have got, my grandma died of multiple sclerosis. She was very sick. I have never seen her walk. She was always in a wheelchair. She died when I was 8. I have got a friend here who was diagnosed with MS when she was 18, and she is not accepting. She is accepting that she has got an illness, but she says that she's stronger, and she is now almost 40 and she still has got no symptoms. So the way that we label ourselves and, the physical symptoms of something is not the truth. We have got 100% control over our body, our cells, as long as we love them and as long as we nurture ourselves. And our cells, that's how they express. So yeah, that's something that I was thinking today.
And our cells, they have a vibration, right? So our thoughts are aligning all of the cells of our body to that vibration. And I know, like, I can look back to times when, as a kid, I didn't want to go to school. And so I would say that I was sick to
I
mum.
was the
And then
same.
all of a sudden, you would start to feel sick.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I remember as a child thinking, am I actually creating this? Now I know it to be true. But actually, that's how powerful thoughts are. And our thoughts obviously start and we create with our words as well. But that is, also have two dyslexic children. My eldest has come through a lot of the systems really well. Absolutely loves reading now. He's a complete bookworm. Um, you know, so whether it was the full blown, whether it was a temporary thing, I'm not sure. But my youngest is still, you know, quite struggling. And then because we'd been traveling over this summer holidays, he's now taught himself to read music. Can't read a book, but he can now read music. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like the way their brains work is so, so beautiful. And what I don't like is that they are told that that is wrong in the main system. And that's a bit of a battle that I have going on at the moment because I would prefer them not to be in that system. Um, yeah, so labels are that powerful. And it's only recently that he even realizes he's dyslexic because we wouldn't talk to him so much about the word. You know, we would just talk about, you know, yeah. Anyway, I won't go into that. But there's some really good comments here, Samantha.
Yeah.
This is so interesting. I'm navigating this with my youngest son right now. Dyslexia is what his diagnosis is, and now they want to put a label to his disruptive behavior. Yeah, it's almost like searching for the excuse in a sense, isn't it?
It is. You'll see that when your son finds something like your son Libby, who's now reading music, right? He will find something that he's interested in, and he will learn to read that. So it might be reading books, but it might also be reading how a car works, taking a car apart. You know, it's just their brains just see things differently. The way we understand things is through reading, but this is what I always feel numerology is about as well. You know, numerology is everything around us. Everything in the world is measurable. So everything has got a frequency, density, color, everything the way we try and translate the world into so that our brains can understand it is through numbers. So everything is measurable. And it's the same with reading or children being able to grasp concepts. It's different for everybody. Some children will be doing it through numbers, some will be doing it through, you know, their brain just sees things in a different way, whereas we see it very I'd say 2D. You know, we've got a piece of paper, we write things down, but other children, they might see these whole concepts in 3D. I can't do that, right? So we've all got our own special talents, and yeah, it's
Yeah,
interesting.
so good. So this is Rosalie.
Yeah.
And she says, I've done some special education support. Yes, I agree. What we digest tends to manifest. Our schools, here anyway, doesn't incorporate the amount of movement needed for boys. So true. And what has been so disappointing is that physical education and sport was the first thing they pulled when they went back to school after COVID. They stopped physical. They weren't doing enough anyway. They stopped it. Yep. Yep. I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
No, that's totally wrong. I think you know, we should all be out in the fresh air and moving our bodies. Like that's they should, you know, all of these people that make decisions, they should just go to what's his name, Tony Robbins. You know, the way he talks about movement, it's like we need movement. We need movement to yeah.
Absolutely. State management. Yeah. And when we're in that state, we're creating. Yeah. So Rosalie, would you like a message today? Let me know. But she says, I kind of question institutionalizing as well because the one size fits all approach. Exactly.
Well, I mean, it already says it. One size fits all. I mean, the whole conversation was about how individual we all are, and how we all have got our own special talents, and we've all got our own special way of expressing. So, of course, one size does not fit all. Even those clothes that you can get, they don't fit me.
So true. One size fits all dress. I don't think so. Oh dear. So true. So true. Um, I just thought I'd wait and see because we don't want to trespass Rosalie, right? Like, but I have a feeling you would like a message, and I know that you'd happy to have a message. You had an amazing session or a conversation that I saw very briefly with Mish in the Numerology Junkies today about a past life, and I felt there was potentially an amazing link back to what you had been sharing last week with her, Leah. It was pretty cool. So I'd love to chat to you about that, Rosalie. Okay, so if you want to tune in and just see if there's anything for Rosalie to hear.
I'm really confused now because I didn't catch the numerology thing.
Oh, that's all right. Don't worry about it. Whatever
Okay.
needs to come through will come through. Yeah.
Oh, Rosalie, let's just take some deep breaths together. I am seeing dolphins. I just see you riding a wave. I just see that you are having so much fun and you are so flowing. Everything's just flowing. You're just like this dolphin. You're having fun. You're like communicating because dolphins are super intelligent. And I think you're just having fun and enjoying the ride, right? That's what you're doing. I don't really get any other messages other than you are doing everything right. Problems will come, but are they really problems? Not really. They're only problems if we make them problems. We are the creators of who we are, and if we label something a problem, it is a problem. But we also can just not label it. And it's not like we can just pretend it's not there, but it's viewing it from a different point of view. Is it really as bad as I think it is? Yeah, I just feel so much joy, so much peace. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
That is beautiful. Right on track. Right on track. And I love that because you overthink often. Okay. Yeah, I think we can all get a bit stuck in that.
Of course, it's hard to let go of attachment.
Yeah, and I think that beautiful image of the dolphins is just that play energy. It's when you're playing, you're really, really present. You're not worrying about the future and the past. It's just like you're right in it. And obviously, you've had some shifts. You've had some things going on with the past life and the conversation with Mish. So just embracing, knowing that you're exactly where you are with that beautiful image that Leah spoke about, and just staying really present with it and acknowledging everything that's moving up and out, knowing that nothing's wrong, and enjoying the process and allowing, really surrendering to it. Amazing. Well, it looks like that is all we have for today.
Master communicators, yes, Samantha,
They are.
absolutely.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming and playing with us today. Thank you, Leah. Great conversation. Great.
Thank
so
you,
many
Lizzie.
tangents.
I mean, I just go on tangents. It's crazy.
I love that.
on the weekend, and it was just like, yeah, I talk and talk and talk.
I love that though. Pardon me. Okay, guys, we will leave it there. Thank you so much. We will be back next
I just wanted to say at the end, if you're still here, I am running my giveaway. So invite people into my beautiful group, and you will get a entry into receiving a numerology report. And I think every lady that can come in will also go in the draw. I'm just going to be really maybe something else as well. I just would really love you to invite more people.
Yeah, share the love, right? Sharing the love.
Yes.
Leave the labels. I love it. Yeah.
Thank you.
So
and I love you for being here.
Yes, love you all. Love you all. All right, guys, we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.